Hi, and welcome to another installment of Roll for Revelry. My name is AJ, your friendly neighborhood DM, and this is the rest of the group.
Hi.
Hello.
Excellent. So this is what we call the Hangover. It's a breakdown of our latest episode, episode 23, the experimental method.
Unreal.
23. This is 5 more than what we did our last campaign.
That's
So we've been
crazy
doing
to
this over a
me.
year.
We've played well over 100 hours of D&D. If we
In this campaign.
in this campaign, probably yeah. But I'm just saying, like overall,
Yeah,
like 23. What times 4? Call it 4.
Hundreds.
that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Almost 100.
It's shy of 100, and then we played 18 sessions before, and
And we played Crash Pandas and Sex
Crash
Battle
Pandas
Wizards.
and Sex Battle Wizards,
Yeah.
and what was it? The Bear
Honey Heist.
Honey Heist.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
all the awesome Grant
Did
Howitt
your holiday
stuff.
one?
Oh,
The
yeah?
holiday one, your NCIS.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
SVU.
SV. Oh, sorry.
NCIS.
That was cool though. It was super fun.
Yeah.
We played like detectives, and it was very like dun dun.
Yeah.
And then we had Curses
We did the
Stride for a little
Curses
bit,
Stride, Yeah.
and then Bob, you're the only one that has yet to
Oh,
DM.
you're
So,
so good.
That's
Yeah.
great.
you're up next, I think, right? Maybe this holiday season you'll see some Bob DMing.
I do love the holidays.
It's true. It's just like all about making pumpkin spice lattes.
What are we doing? You go to the apple orchard. What do you do next? Will you eat donuts too?
Yeah. What do you do at the apple orchard? So yeah, this is our breakdown of episode 23. The experimental method. You can check out the VOD on Twitch right now, or if this is in the further future, you can check out it on our YouTube. Our YouTube / Roll for Revelry. We're Roll for Revelry everywhere, so you can check out all of the internet. So yeah, let's start off around the table as we do. Lindsay, how did you feel about the episode? How did you feel about Orla, and just a general consensus of what you liked and what you didn't like?
I loved the episode a lot. I feel like we laughed a lot. There was a lot of unique, situations and stuff that we did. But I especially liked how the episode started, and it kind of took me by surprise because it was a little snippet of Orla going into either another realm or a different part that she wandered off into, and she kind of snapped back into reality and was like right where the party was at.
Yeah.
And that was crazy to me. But
That was
cool.
crazy. It was a very cool moment. It was one of those things. I've been listening to a handful of other podcasts, and I heard and saw somebody else doing this, and it was like one of those moments like, oh, that's a great idea to like catch everybody's interest and to kind of like just jump right in. I very much enjoy the like. I was talking about it with the other group IDM, and they were saying like, all right, do you guys want to do like me ask you a question to warm up, or do you want to just make a fun fact like kind of we've eased into? But I like this of jumping right in and saying, hey, this is gameplay, let's get ready. And I think it like helps that, especially after 2-week break, ease into like we don't spend the first half of our game being like, all right, cool, this is how we play again. Like, you're forced into it. And I thought it was a lot of fun, and it just so happened that it made it cinematically appropriate for that to happen.
Orla just had a lot of mixed emotions in this episode, with what had happened at the very beginning, and there was a lot of laughter, but at the same time, she was being very protective of what she thought. Like, now I have to rethink, because Orla had this idea that, what was why can't I think of the dragon's name?
Soren.
I thought that Soren had said something about having like some kind of experiments done on her at the laboratory. So like there was a point where she was being very protective, like when she was like hearing information, she was being very, tell me more, kind of. But,
Like, does he have a car?
right. Yeah.
Gina. How'd you feel about the episode?
I thought it was really fun. I kind of knew as soon as we were separating from Kata and Marxus that things were gonna like take.
Shenanigans would be had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
But I was like, as we were playing, I was kind of reflecting on the last time when we didn't we kind of had like a 3-day and we didn't really do much. We went to like the we went antiquing, which was like fun.
It was a cool adventure though.
Yeah,
like
it
a little
was.
mini one. That would have been a great one shot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But this felt like more productive. Like we
Yes.
were like it was information gathering, which I thought was really cool, and I had like a lot of questions about where we're going and like what this library is going to look like. And
I think that's a cool part about the combination of in the D&D world, there's 3 pillars of what you're doing is either combat, exploration, or social, and I think that is a cool aspect of blending between social and exploration is you're like exploring your options through all of these social interactions. I will say, I think as a DM previously, I think I gave you guys too much time for your free day, and you were like, "Oh well, we got 2 days. We got a blow off day, and then we got a day to get our shit together." So then you had a blow off day, and then you had a day where you also didn't get your shit together. But
Sounds about right.
yeah.
Don't attack us.
But I'm not. I'm just simply stating facts.
Were we drunk?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, given this, like, you didn't have a set timeline, so maybe it was like you jump into the game right away. You know, that mindset. Maybe, I don't know. I'm speculating. But yeah, overall good.
yeah.
Cool. Bob.
Yeah, I had fun today. I liked. Yeah, I also liked when we split off. I thought that was fun. Like the way we kept like bouncing back and forth was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I, from a personal character standpoint, had a lot of fun experimenting with how. So last time our fun fact was that Kata thinks he can absorb other dragons' powers, right? So he thinks he can be not only a frost dragon, but also a fire dragon and a poison dragon and a flying dragon. Like he thinks he can be all of it. So he's like, okay, guess I gotta eat a scale. Can I do poison? Nope. All right, how else can I make myself?
Yeah.
I guess I'll snort this. And like, I knew as soon as I was like, this is not gonna help my character,
Okay.
but on the off chance that like this is the key to unlocking that, like,
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna snort this fucking dragon scale.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's so funny.
From a group standpoint, that puts us in a really peculiar place with the dragon blood.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out for Marxus. But
It'll be interesting.
It's a wide spectrum of things
Think
and
it'll be-
timelines of what things could happen. Yeah.
But yeah, I think we did a good job keeping things moving today for having free time. Like, I thought we were all pretty good at being like, figure out what we wanted to do it, have some fun with it, keep it like loose, but then also being like, and to the next.
Yeah. I agree.
I appreciate it not being 100% of a shopping episode. I'll tell you that much. Like, I think that being able to spend time in the city, and like, for the sake of it, if you guys want to pick up anything that is from the Player's Handbook Adventuring Geared Equipment section, you're more than welcome to. It's at that price. That's that. Like, those kinds of things, you guys have more than enough money. I didn't need to talk to you and you about money here in a second. But,
You know, a lot of money.
no, you guys just started using spells that you don't have components for, so I'm going to make you pay for those components.
Oh.
What spells?
You have Summon Beast.
Yeah, costs money.
What's mine?
It requires a $200 gold acorn.
Oh.
And yours is a clairvoyance. It requires either $100 or $200. One is a glass eye, and the other is a
Is that one acorn per ant?
no.
So
Well,
I need
now
to
it
find
is.
a glass eye. And
Well, I would say for the sake of it, yes,
You can
you
just
found
spend that
one.
money.
You've already been using it.
I
you've
just need to
used
spend
it.
the money to.
And
do
that's the
that.
other thing too, is
Gotcha.
like in those situations, I, as the DM, am just going to charge them for it. They're gonna
So once we
withdraw
get that spell, we have those items, but we have to pay for those items.
or you need to realize that you can't add that spell unless you go to try to find that item. Like, that is an extra cost.
That
Some
just
of
is a little
them,
bit more difficult. Like,
I mean, for
You know
the
what I
sake
mean?
of it, like, if you went
when
to...
we're leveling up, like,
Yeah. But it would
We
just be
choose
something
that
to keep in
spell,
mind.
yeah.
Is like, some of them are different things that are difficult resources to find. Is like a 300 gold diamond. That I would not allow you to just like be like, oh yeah, we picked up a 300 gold
Sure.
diamond at the
You'd have to
diamond's
find it,
door, as
yeah.
one does. But
As
if you
Zales.
found
Get at
one,
us.
yeah,
The diamond store.
Zales, get at us.
Mentos, Doritos, Zales. Who covers this?
Oh yeah, it's, diversifying your portfolio.
Yes.
Diversify your bonds.
Yeah,
James.
diamonds,
Daniel.
corn, sugar.
Daniel
The
Craig.
big three, as they call it.
Uh,
So
Craig.
Who are the other bonds?
Craig Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson.
guys, all right. So
Diversifying our
He's not a
bonds.
bond.
Craig Ferguson wasn't
Craig
a bond.
Ferguson is not a bond. I thought we were doing Daniel Craig, Craig Robinson.
No, I'm
no.
diversifying my
Could know.
bonds. So like Daniel Craig
Could
is a
not
bond.
think of one.
All right, Dan.
Yeah,
Before this spirals out of control, what did you like and
Sure.
dislike about the episode?
sure. Well, I really liked when we asked Mentos, Doritos, and Zales for sponsorship.
A moment ago, but in the actual episode,
I also I liked the sending stone necklaces.
I
That was
love
cool. I was totally like in my mind. I was like, these are just friendship necklaces. But if anyone can like impart a spell onto it, would be dope. Perhaps sending would be amazing. And then it just kind of happened, and I was like, yes,
you thought about that,
yes.
but you didn't bring it up tonight.
Nope.
All right, cool.
And so, did I really think of it? I also have a joke that I wrote down.
All right, so Lindsay, what did you dislike about the episode? I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm just
No,
teasing.
I mean we can
I'm
move on
teasing.
to
You're
that.
good. You're good.
So when we were talking about, it was either right before or we were talking like during our intro, which sick intro. Thank you, Black Dice Society. Is that who it was?
Yeah, I was taking it from Black Dice Society. The way they intro their episodes was very like jump right in, and they have these moments that are super cool. I've been trying to learn as much as I can as a DM. One of my things is that I want to kind of I listen to all these podcasts, and I don't just listen to it for the story, but I listen to it for the critique of like, what does B Dave do? What does everybody else do? Like there's so many. Bria Iyengar, how does she work with her group differently than Mercer? Then there's a laundry list of.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for being so influential and so positive and so educational without necessarily being that out loud.
Their aura is education.
Yeah.
But anyways, during that intro, you had said like, yeah, we'll have the Hangover coming up on Tuesday, and you were like, yeah, we'll get behind the screen and we'll dig into the character sheets, and so I was totally like, I have a slogan for our Hangover. The Hangover, behind the screen and between the sheets.
All right.
Second.
I'll just point out. I'm pretty sure there's
Between
already
the
like
You are
complimentary shows that are called Behind the Screen, and separate complimentary shows that are called Between the Sheets.
Between the
Did you have your Google Safe search on when you do a search?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Behind the screen, maybe not so much. I have seen between two screens, like between.
Well, that's
two
good.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Adventure
Okay.
Capitalists was my favorite
That was
Yeah.
great.
individual moment today. That was, and the fact that the mayor, what is it called?
Calda.
Yeah.
Oh,
Calda.
I was like Caldera. Hey, mayor.
If you think that
Fine,
sucks,
yeah.
Like, what do you
we can
call
change
yourselves? And
it. If it's annoying, we can change it.
you both just went adventure capitalists at the exact same time in unison together, and it was just, well,
Yes.
that's what in unison means. That was like I remember being like, "That's going in the old bank right
Yeah.
there."
Yeah.
That's a great memory to have.
I'd piggyback off that too. That is a gold mine for us to actually do in perpetuity. If every city we go to, we just set up a meat tornado stand and go, yeah, give us 10% of your profits.
It's a great retirement plan. It's
It
a
is.
great retirement plan.
I also have some sweet artwork of Sorenth giving us a ride, and so
It's a flip book.
Yeah.
yeah, here is Sorenth right here. Right here's Marxus in the mouth of Sorenth with the scruff. You can see Sorenth has little kind eyes, very Trogdor-esque. You have mean evil Kata being like, I'm being held by the claws. You got workplace associate with their arms crossed, just like, And then you have Orla in the back just smiling, playing her flute with music notes coming off of that. So this will be available. This is a David Ninen NFT original.
That's gonna be our first T-shirt that we make. By the way,
I was going to say this if once we get like an artist to do our stuff, I will totally send this and be like,
no,
can you make a nice, awesome?
Do it.
no.
Do
We're
it, but
keeping
better.
it just like that, Dan.
Wait,
Oh no, yeah,
no.
we'll totally. We will put that. Let's make an NFT.
That's actually a great idea.
Somebody will never buy that, so that's perfect.
Right.
Yeah,
How
that's
many-
what NFTs are for, right?
Ethereums.
But you have two axes, and then you have your knives
Yeah.
in the back, which is kind of perfect for how you kind of treat us sometimes.
What?
No, that was a joke.
Shots fired.
You have Marxus saying "Wee," and then Sorenth carries Boatfolk is the official title of it all there.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
So
Can't wait to see that in the Louvre.
It's pronounced Louvre.
Juve.
Y'all.
Yeah. Also, Dr. Eric was
Oh, that's good.
was a lot of fun.
That was
I think
As
my
far as a
favorite part-
random NPC generator goes, you can't win. You can't win.
good thing D&D isn't about winning. It's about writing the story together.
Yeah.
And AJ, I'm very happy that you still remain friends with us after what we do to your beautiful world and
It's
story
close.
building.
I know.
But it's more now that I have another group that I play with. I can like ease you
It's
guys
like
out.
in the Exandria
He's
Unlimited.
gonna end up hating us.
I think it's the second episode of Exandria Unlimited where they go to there's a fire fissure that opens up in the world, and they just call it an ash hole. And Abria is just like, you guys took my beautiful
I think it was
Whatever.
a sigil, wasn't it?
sigil. Yeah, you took my beautiful sigil that I took all this time to create, and you turned it into a butthole. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's pretty much every DM.
Yes.
Oh no, it's gonna happen.
Like, that's just the way it goes.
It's gonna happen. Lindsay, what didn't you like about the episode? What would you have done different, and what advice would you have about it?
I don't think there's really anything I didn't like about the episode.
Is there any advice you'd pass on to somebody that's like a new player or a player that would be into learning how to play a bard, how to, like specifically, and I don't mean to bring it up in that way, but there's a very stereotypical bard out there that everybody plays, or at least according to the internet plays.
I don't.
You
think
don't
I
play that.
No.
You don't play a horny bard that runs around playing music in bars and that kind of stuff. Like,
I do every once in a while, but like,
You don't like-
but not like all the time. You know what I mean? But like,
you're not trying to seduce a dragon.
no.
Apparently, it's a.
Oh, that's what you mean by horny bar.
Yeah. What did you think?
I don't
Like-
know.
like the
A
brass.
brass.
Oh, that's the point where she doesn't play that kind of character.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know what it is.
No, we play it.
No, we're like
Mostly, yeah.
very,
Mostly woodwinds.
very innocent. Orla also has a love of her life
Very
that
agreed.
has been, lost. so,
yeah.
That's funny.
but I just use music as magic, and that's
what a bard is.
kind of how I see it. But yeah, I don't use it like that. I would say there are a lot of musical elements that do come with a bard that aren't necessarily like your spells or things like that. So just stay aware of those, like Song of Rest, those things can be very helpful.
For sure. Inspiration. Even outside of battle, I think it was a big thing. Like, you did it really well last session.
Yeah.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think I understand, like, the rust needs to be kind of shaken off for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But,
No, I'm good now after long rest.
I think that, not that, but I think, like,
That's so good.
I'm just saying utilizing it and
Yes.
forgetting or remembering to do so and having nothing to do with the list. Let's move on. What? Do you have any advice?
No, that was it. That was
Yeah,
it. Just
so
utilizing. No, but like, yeah, I've gotten better at my inspiration, but there are other things additional to that are very helpful.
For sure.
Like, this is the first time I think this episode in 23 sessions that we've done that I've used Song of Rest.
Correct.
You know, so it can be very essential and very helpful, you know, especially if you're not in an area that you can take a long rest in or whatever. As long as I like play this and everybody can hear it, that is considered a short rest for people. So
For sure.
yeah.
I almost said Narnia. Gina. Twitch.
I wish I would have disguised myself before going to see the Calda. I don't love that they know what I look like.
He's probably too busy to remember what you look like anyways. He's
Too busy being a dick.
Yeah, for real.
Too many people saw my face.
It was Nathan. Is that his name?
Nathaniel.
Oh, my bad. Nathaniel and whatever his name is. I don't even know. Calder. We didn't even get his full name. So
I'm gonna steal things from everybody. That's
rude.
From
I
now
like
on.
that. I'm there for it.
I thought for a second you were gonna be like, is there anything expensive? I'm just gonna knock it off.
Yeah.
No, I'm not Marxist. I'm not a
Cat it off the corner or something.
Caddy.
Any advice?
I guess I've like thought of Narnip and Silos as either like a rogue or a gnome, and like I think I'm trying to like blend those two together now with like the tinkering and like the rogue aspect, and trying to think of like spy-y weapons, and I think that's important to keep in mind of both like your class and your race, and like how to like mesh those together and not like
For sure.
Absolutely.
I think that in you and I were texting about like, so like last session you felt like you were a one-trick pony kind of thing, and I think you can, as a rogue, I think that's very reasonable, is that you hide, you attack, or you attack, you hide, you attack, you hide, just so you can keep getting that sneak attack, and then that's it, and like that's your damage. You have a lot of utility spells. Because of that, those spells don't really come into play during combat.
Yeah.
So you have that one trick for combat, and you don't really like remember your. You can't remember your subclass, but I think I was expressing to somebody else the other day, is like, oh, you know, like I think a lot of people forget about their subclass because that makes it a very cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
You've done Mantle of Majesty twice. How often you utilize Kata or Oki outside of
battle?
Yeah,
not very often.
you know, and I think Marxist occasionally forgets brewing or like utilizing your brews. So it's one of those extra things, and especially as new players, like that's another thing too, is we started you guys out at level 5 this time. A handful of you did new characters, so knowing you have to learn those levels 1 through 5 first. Again, especially if you did a new class entirely. Like you were still a ranger, you still understood that stuff. You were the same character with the same subclass, but
Mine was a little bit different.
yeah, there were definitely some different spells, different changes, and that such. But with the extra stuff, I think it's like a little bit, huh?
It just sounded like a fart.
I think with the extra stuff, it's a little much to always be remembering. But utilizing, like you said, your subclass, or not subclass, but utilizing your race, your backgrounds, some of those other things can definitely be an extra thing, an extra layer to who your character is and how they act and how they, progress through the story. Bob?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in the episode directly that I would change or didn't like. Gold acorns to use a spell. I wish that wasn't a thing. Because, like, it's fine. I'm just going to have to get, like, I think I even have smithing tools that I'm proficient in. So I'm just going to, like...
I'll say that spell specifically does not... you just need one gold acorn.
Well, didn't you say we could just give you the money and you assume that we have
but
it
I have
right
to use
now?
it per spell.
No.
Oh.
You would just have it.
It doesn't say it's consumed in that spell.
Oh, that's
there
way
are
better
specific
then.
spells, like Narnip has spells that say silver powder and is consumed in it's your protection versus good and evil.
That's good.
So then you would
Is it
need
enough?
to continuously
but I think,
get.
if you use it like a few more times, I'll be like, cool, spend a gold.
Okay.
Like I was just looking into the spells and making sure that you guys are utilizing them correctly, because that's another one of those things. Like I have a lot to focus
You're
on.
very mad at my ants from the battle, huh?
Well, no, because like I said, it's just all you needed is one time.
Yeah.
So that's what started it, though.
Yeah.
Is like I was like, oh, is your ants somatic or material? And then at a later date, I looked it up and I was, oh, he's supposed to have.
That's good to
And
know.
he spent this.
And I guess it changes it. So what I thought was I needed a golden acorn every time, which I was like, I'm gonna start grinding and just looting everybody for stuff to get 200 gold so I can afford my meats and my
Golden
acorns.
acorns.
But then I thought about it just now when you told me that's not the case. I still also should do that, because like, why wouldn't I just carry as many fucking short swords as I can from every dead body and then sell them when we get into town?
Yeah.
If,
Like,
I mean,
it's a little
if
bit
you
of a
want
grind,
to,
but-
it's the grinding aspect of a video game RPG.
Right.
I will say though that like if you start doing that, I'm going to implement like you can only carry so much,
Like your pack
don't
weight
do that.
type deal.
like your pack weight.
I hate that.
It's
Okay.
very strong.
And encumbrance is you're very strong. It's fair.
Yeah.
But also like remember like you're getting what, like three gold
Right.
for a sword. Like
Well,
that's
that's
not
better.
really where.
Well, that's better though when the acorn is permanent. I just need
Yeah.
one. Like, I'll go buy a $200
Correct.
acorn.
The things that say that they're consumed next to it are the ones that like you need to be conscious of, specifically when you're choosing your spells. I don't know if anybody can cast it. I think you maybe can, but Revivify. Bring somebody back from the dead. You need a 300 gold piece.
I can't
Diamond.
actually.
Yeah.
That's not going to be something that you find.
So before I would even want to choose that
willy-nilly,
spell,
yeah.
I would want to try. If I wanted to choose it eventually, I would want to try to seek out a 300 gold piece diamond.
Or talk to me and say, hey, I want to use a spell. If there's an opportunity
Yeah.
that this can come up.
But then that kind of sucks that I have that spell, can't even use. You know what I mean? Can't use it when
Well,
it's just
yeah.
like I would rather like personally have a spell that I can use and
Yeah.
then just plan.
And that's why we have the conversation outside
Yeah.
the game. It's like, hey, I can make sure that this happens for you. If you want to use a spell, I don't know how often that spell is going to be able to be like.
Yeah.
If you do it once, cool. If you do like how many 300 gold piece diamonds are we going to go through?
I don't know.
And am I going to basically?
Depends on how reckless we are.
Right.
Well, yeah, but like, am I going to
Dragon
quote
Ball,
unquote allow the party access to
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
DM?
Well, even then, would that be one that is consumed?
Yeah.
Like, oh god, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So that
you're
really
trading-
is then
You're bringing somebody back
Yeah.
to life,
shit.
and that's the
Got it. So then there would be
impact of the
that
spell.
would just be something that I would know. Like this is something I can use once in a blue moon. You know, so it'd be a choice that I would have to make. Like,
Yeah, you're not only burning a spell.
Which, like, that's kind of messed up, because we just found out a body's only worth 180 gold.
right.
According
Only a level 3 shield hand,
Yeah.
but Revivify could bring back a level 100 shield hand.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Maybe.
you guys.
Pivot. Hard pivot. What
Yeah.
I would give as advice, which is something I tried out today that I stole from the internet somewhere, was just like, start just controlling the narrative and throwing things at the DM. Like, okay, was Troll a bad bartender? Yeah, Troll's a bad bartender, but like, okay, then you're like, not a troll, but an orc, right? Or like, what does the host elf look like? Like, what's the worst that they're gonna say? Like, well, it's not an elf. I plan on it to be a halfling. Like, like you said, it makes your life a little easier, even
Not seeing a half.
to some degree, like outside of your planned character.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, and
It's
that's
like-
what that was. And that was it's a cool moment too. Like if you go back, check out the VOD, you'll see that they were shouting out characters. I was like you said, for the most part, if it wasn't a prepared character, I would be 100% on board for that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like
and
that.
like even the troll, I knew when I
I know,
said
I
troll
like
that you were like, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Trolls are like fucking huge and aggressive.
And like,
Like,
I'm
wouldn't
they're
be
a
a bartender,
monster
yeah.
essentially, yeah. But also like maybe we come across a town that is more monster than it is humanoid. I don't know. That's something.
But we are
But-
the monsters.
I think that you're right though. Like that moment where you realize you can control the narrative is that moment where you realize it's a collaborative storytelling game, and it's not just me expressing the world to you, but we are all expressing the world to each other, and that's where the balance comes from. And that's where, like we were joking about earlier, is like going off the rails is one thing, but also like that was a cool moment, and it's now started a moment where you saw that there was a deal going down with the Morningfall game. So now that there's something that can come of it, you know.
We don't use the G word.
Yeah, where
Gang.
did that come from?
Gang, remember?
No, I'm aware. I'm still waiting for him to say where did that come from.
There
to
was
answer.
at one point, I think it was session 1 or 2. Somebody had called us a gang, and Kato was like, "We're not a gang. We don't even know each other." So it was a one line.
Someone's been rewatching all of our
From-
sessions.
Big callback.
Yeah.
Deep
Love
cut.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's fun.
and that's
Hey, we're not even
So-
friends. Just work associates.
shared sandwiches.
Well, kind of.
And drink the blood of our friends.
Also,
Damn.
love sword.
Yeah,
Tell me, what didn't you like about the episode? What would you have done different? And please, if you don't like something about the episode, tell me. If you genuinely think that there was like nothing good about the episode, I'd rather you tell me than continue playing the game and being upset about it.
Well, in that case,
And I hope
I still wouldn't change anything.
I'm just saying, like, we're all friends here. I can take it. I hope you can take it. If there's something that's vice versa or whatever, we should be able to have open communication about this kind of
Yeah.
things. And
sure.
if it is like last week, like the moment where you're like, all right, cool, I really feel like I didn't have.
And like, I just want to clarify too. Like, I wasn't like hating that like during
No.
battle because I do think that like my skills are really useful like outside of battle and like investigating things.
For
and,
sure.
like, I think that that's like a really cool part of this is like people are like different tools in the toolbox that like can get pulled out in
Yeah.
various instances and like so just wanted to clarify like I wasn't bored
And-
or anything last week like I
I
thought
don't know. And I agree.
Yeah.
I understand. And that's that open communication that I'm talking about is like,
Yeah.
you and I have had a conversation outside of game, outside of this table, where we discussed it, and not only did we both understand where each other was coming from, but it was like one of those things that you were saying, like, oh, during this portion of those 3 pillars, I feel like I have less options. And I think that's 100% fair and 100% appropriate to say. And then we met that. We talked about tinkering options. We talked about weapon options. We talked about multi-classing options. And if that was something down the road that anybody want, or not you, but anybody wants to explore, it's 100%. So long as, for me, it's so long as it works in with the narrative. I know there's other DMs out there that would be like, no matter what, okay, cool, do whatever you want. Or no matter what, okay, really doesn't work and it's a lot to handle for me or unbalanced, whatever. But every table's different is the end of the game. But so long as you have open communication, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
I think. Dan.
Thing I would do differently. I wouldn't try to make a joke out of literally everything, such as the unnamed gentleman who was carrying reeds, and I said, "Oh, do you put him in woodwinds?" And everyone was like, "What?" And in my head, I'm like, "That's a fucking hilarious joke, because the reed is the part of a, for
No, we
example,
get
like
it.
a clarinet." Oh, it just wasn't funny. So what I would change is all of the jokes that Marcus thinks he's so funny with, like the like thinking that the stork, thinking that like the stork was a joke. Like, what's the high point of a stork? What is the highest point on a stork?
What is the
It
answer?
depends on its legs.
I think there was no answer.
No,
Oh.
I think it was one of
you
those
were
things like
supposed to say like, and also with you.
if there was if it had been Narnip, I think whatever her answer would have been appropriate and correct, because that's how thieves can't work. Is it's not necessarily like a language like English or like whatever. It's not
coding.
Yeah, it's the code and being able to read that off of somebody else and understand that it is a code, and maybe be able to respond in kind.
Narnik would have passed the vibe check.
I think I would have had you roll something, but probably that
You did
but
not
that would have
pass the vibe
like
check.
as a DM that would have
No
been
vibe check.
I would have had her roll for it, I think, and that would have determined whether or not she answered correctly, or like maybe like half correctly. Like, no, you obviously said it close enough, but you know that it's supposed to be this answer or something. Like, and been like scrutinized, so there was a loss of trust between the interaction, if it had been. But also, it wouldn't have been ever you, because
No.
it wasn't a thing until this guy decided to knock on the last door after finding the room he actually wanted.
Don't believe it knocked.
Yeah, just open it.
Kramered your way in.
Yeah. I also wrote down, because we were talking about Shrek while we were eating dinner.
Yeah.
And Texas.
As most people do at dinner time. And then you're talking about a horny bard. Obviously, Donkey character is the stereotypical horny bard. Sings while walking down the road. It either annoys or inspires. It annoys the opponent or inspires the friend. Bucks a dragon, literally. Dragon. Among
made
the
love.
most mind-boggling of the
Mind-boggling.
mind-boggling
Yeah.
of the logistics of interspecies sexual relations.
Only to be surpassed by centaurs.
Alright. What would we need?
Is
Like
the centaur a dragon and a donkey?
we need like a safe word? Alright. Do you have any advice for anybody regarding the episode?
Yeah, think about interspecies sexual relations and how the logistics of that would freak out the members of your party.
On that note, does anybody else have any closing remarks that we would give to the world? All right, so
No.
thank you all very much for watching. This has been The Hangover. We are Roll for Revelry. You can catch us on Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and additionally, The Hangover is aired Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed what you watched, consider supporting us. Give us a follow, checking us out. We're on all of the internet, or at least most of it. You can check out our VOD on Twitch, our older episodes on YouTube. We're pretty active on Twitter. You can check out our, we have a Ko-Fi or Coffee account, but I think it's Ko-Fi because I like to say that because
It's fun, more fun to say.
and then also consider subscribing. The more subs we have, the more cool stuff we can do, the more we can add to this studio and make it awesome and increase our quality of the show. So please consider doing that. Yeah. Otherwise, we will see you next week. So thank you very much.
Bye.
because I feel like she would have understood that the suit of armor can't come to life on its own, so it has to be by magical means. So she is observing if there's anybody in the immediate vicinity